All right, looks like we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another week of KordKutters. This week, episode 12. You would think we'd be talking about Kodi 15 because it just came out a couple days ago. And while that is pretty exciting, I think we'll save that for another day. Partly because I feel like we've already talked about Kodi 15 like 1,000 times, and partly because this week we've got a very special guest. Everyone, say hello to Ted. Hi, Ted.
Hey, everybody.
Ted is the CEO of Silicon Dust, which are the makers of a product you may have heard of called the HDHomerun. If you haven't heard of it, a few weeks ago, we actually, or I guess months ago at this point, time flies, we actually featured the HDHomerun Kodi add-on on our website because we were kind of pumped that it existed. In terms of Kodi, here, I'll go ahead and show that. In terms of how HDHomerun and Kodi work together, see, there's the add-on, the HDHomerun Live TV. In terms of how they work together, right now you can either choose to use the Homerun app or add-on, excuse me, if you're using a relatively modern HDHomerun. Ted, do you know which? I think it's 3 of them that support that add-on, right?
It is. They go under the name of either Connect, Extend, and those 2 are the OTA, the over-the-air devices, or also the HDHomerun Prime, which is for the cable with access control cable card.
Okay, and I think I have the Connect. It's the one that does transcoding.
That would be the Extend, yes.
Oh, the Extend. Excuse me. Yeah, and that one's awesome. It's pretty cool having one that. Like, it just doesn't matter if the device you're running needs MPEG-2 or not. It just sort of automatically works every time.
Yep.
Yeah, so anyway, the HDHomerun works with Kodi in a variety of different ways. There's the add-on. You can also use it with PVR software, though you do need a PVR backend for that. And I don't think we've ever shown a video on how to put that together, but there are guides online. You can check those out. Anyway, we're not really here to talk about those so much. This week, what I wanted to talk with you about, Ted, was the HDHomerun DVR Kickstarter and everything about that. But I guess before we get into that, maybe for people who aren't super familiar with HDHomerun and Silicon Dust, maybe you could give a little bit of background about the company. How long ago did you guys get started?
Definitely. So we started up in 2007, actually officially March, but we were doing development in 2005 and 6, but we incorporated in the U.S. in 2007. And what we created was another device to watch TV on the PC originally. Back then you had a lot of USB tuners or PCI cards, but you were stuck at one location at a single PC to be able to watch and or record. You also had your set-top box from your cable provider or an antenna into your TV, again, stuck at one location. We had the idea to create a network-attached TV tuner that now you can stream multi-tuners to multiple PCs anywhere you have them in the home. So we created a 2-tuner over-the-air and cable HDHomerun device called the HDHomerun Dual. And what that allowed for was put it on your network, not directly onto your PC. And now a PC can come in and be able to watch and or record using Windows Media Center, Elgato's iTV, Myth TV for Linux, and also things like Sage TV at the time and Beyond TV, all those different PVRs that existed out there in software. And a second person can come in, say a laptop in the garage or an all-in-one in the kitchen, and be able to grab the other additional tuner and be able to watch and or record independently of the other tuner or other client. Also being expandable, if 2 wasn't enough for your home, if you had PCs or laptops in every room, you can put more HDHomerun devices on the network and be able to expand the number of tuners available. So primarily for the first couple years, PC-based, PC accessory, allowing for unencrypted cable as well as full OTA for over-the-air US. We've expanded that in the last few years not just outside of the U.S. We have Canada. We're also outside the North American area. We're in Australia, New Zealand, all throughout Western Europe, Taiwan, with new products that have come out. And what the newer products do, and the ones that have actually the newer names of Connect, Extend, Expand, and Prime, those allow you for full DLNA, UPnP, whole home streaming basically. Smart TVs, game consoles of all styles, PS3, 4, Xbox One, Xbox 360 through Media Extender, also NVIDIA Shield, smart TVs, smartphones, smart tablets, being able to stream to a Fire TV, to the Nexus player from Google, and the NVIDIA box as a media box also. Many of these platforms have Kodi on them, which is a great thing. So our whole idea was to be able to get to as many client devices and get away from being locked to a PC or one platform and be able to stream throughout the entire home and still being the network attached device that we created.
Yeah. And that's actually, so the one I have, we were talking a little bit before the stream. I've got the Extend, you said, right? That's
yes.
the one. What's really cool about it is it can convert, because America is sort of a little bit backwards. The over-the-air TV codec is MPEG-2, which works really well with TVs, but not so well with your mobile devices.
Right.
And the Extend converts it from MPEG-2 to H.264, which is the codec that every mobile device on the planet basically has no problem using. So I'm a big fan of that device. It's very nifty being able to watch the same TV on every TV around the house.
Yeah, it helps out a lot. When we were first streaming to PCs and laptops, the original idea, of course, is an Ethernet attached PC throughout the house in multiple locations. Even when you start talking about the TV the smart TV, in most cases those are also wired to your home network. When you're talking about a game console, if you want the higher resolution and bandwidth and power to it, you want to be able to have it connected Ethernet. But many people are trying to get an AC network or are trying to expand the clients that they use throughout the home, including tablets and phones. We wanted to be able to support those as well. So MPEG-2 is a high bandwidth, great HD content, but difficult over Wi-Fi. And it's nothing that we or anybody else does. It's the fact that Wi-Fi is you can't control it. You can have a great AC network and get bad Wi-Fi connection throughout your home. You can have a really good N network, and some people are watching HD over an N. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And hey, we've been joined by Ned. Hello, Ned.
Hello. How's it
going, Ned?
How you doing?
Yeah, no problem. Oh, and we got dogs joining us. So Ned, we were just talking about kind of the wide range, the range of HDHomerun products out there right now. One thing I wanted to talk about. It's just more a funny little story than anything else. A couple of us visited CES this past January, and up until that point, we were kind of big fans of the HDHomerun, Silicon Dust, all that. But we, I don't know, we hadn't really developed any connections with you guys. Like there was not a lot of communication. We just had a lot of guides on how to use those to run with Kodi, or it might have been still XPFC at the time. No, it was Kodi.
I think it was Kodi then at that point, yeah.
Yeah. And it was funny. We had gone to CES like just sort of randomly. Like there was one company that was like, "Hey, you should come out. We could talk." And we're like, "Okay, we could do that." And then it became a scramble to find other companies to talk to while we were there to justify the cost of flying. And a company that I don't think anyone wants us. I don't think they want us to say who they are. We talked to them, and they said they'd talk to you, and we both evidently had the same conversation with this middle company about how we were big fans of each other, and they were like, "Well, wait, why don't we give you their phone number? Wait, you guys can chat." And it was like, it was like the middle of the convention, and we had no idea it was even going to be an option. And suddenly we went over to your hotel at the time and was like, hey, who knew you were here even? It was probably the craziest thing in the world, and that complete chance encounter was basically why we have that add-on that I just showed a second ago, because that was one of our add-on developers happened to be with us and was like, oh yeah, I could probably make an add-on for that, and it became this whole conversation.
Yeah, no, it worked out great. It's that was a great meeting that we had there. We're happy that we moved from the show floor a couple years ago to the suite at the Westgate Hotel, formerly the Hilton, formerly whatever else they've called it over the years. But it gives a better opportunity for meetings like that, and we got a lot done, and was able to sit down and have a cold beverage and be able to chat about what we can do together.
Yeah, that was cool. So I guess we've kind of beaten around the bush a little well enough at this point. I guess now we should probably go ahead and talk about the big elephant in the room, which is your upcoming DVR. So I guess the first thing to bring up is how long have you guys been thinking about putting together this whole server-side DVR idea?
Ever since we didn't like what everybody else was doing as far as a DVR goes. Certainly, when we got our start, it was based around probably 90% Media Center. And so Windows Media Center back in the XP days, all the way through Vista and 7, and then I think when the troubles began with Windows 8 and having to pay for it at that point, and with Sage TV being bought by Google and them kind of going away, and Beyond TV going into a commercial space with the Snapstream, the people that owned it. A lot of things were changing in that whole area. As we expanded past the PC into the entire whole home, people were losing their opportunity to be able to record their content and control it themselves. So that was one of the biggest questions that came up was, well, what do I do now? I'm kind of not really using the PC or Windows Media Center. What do I do? So we've tried the route of working with third parties. Several people know about a couple of relationships we've had with third-party DVR applications and hardware solutions and things like that. But we've been a hardware company from day one. We're not a software company by nature. So we finally said, you know what? We make what we consider to be simple, elegant hardware. Let's create a easy-to-use, elegant DVR system that's going to be easy use. We've tried so many where it takes 16 clicks to get to live TV. Even if you have to change a channel, you have to go back, forward, up, down, over. We don't like that. You're there to watch and record TV or play back what you want. You can play with the content and the controls after you get into the TV. So we said, let's create our own. So the idea of HDHomerun DVR, simple name, and that's what we're going to call it, and that'll be coming out. So we said, well, how are we going to do this? We're a hardware company, but we want to do it ourselves. We don't want to do it third parties and all these contracts and outside. We want to do it organically ourselves. So we said, let's do Kickstarter. It's technically new. We're not a brand new startup, but it's a new process for us. And so we looked at the Kickstarter opportunity, and it went phenomenal for us, and it's been the catalyst for getting things moving forward.
It was pretty crazy. When I first heard that you guys were doing a Kickstarter, it did seem like, I don't know, it did seem kind of like an odd thing because you're sort of an established company already, but it does make sense that, I mean, you're an established hardware company, but not in any way a software company.
Right.
And I imagine that's a pretty difficult pivot to make. There's in the forum, like literally today and yesterday, there was a conversation by a user about, is Kodi ever going to make their own hardware set-top box? And I mean, the answer was pretty definitively no, because we're a software group, and the idea of having to start basically all over to make a hardware box is mind-boggling how much work that would be to put together.
Right.
So I assume doing the pivot exactly the opposite way, where you're a hardware company going into software, has got to be a ton of work.
It's a fun challenge. I mean, it really is definitely challenging. we're continuing to grow the team to be able to do the software. I think we even posted out some things where we're, I'll do a quick pitch here. We're looking for a local person to do some JavaScript, development also to add to that team. So whoever's listening, you can PM me somewhere in multiple different forums. But no, we definitely are looking for the opportunity to continue to grow that, because we're into it now. We're going to continue to develop our own internal applications and software solutions as we go forward. We have our own Android application. That Android application was half created by us and half created by a third party. We've pretty much stripped out most of the third party and continued on it ourselves. And it was interesting enough for the likes of Google to take it to I/O and actually show it a year ago I/O for their Nexus box, or prior to actually announcing the Nexus box, but for their Android TV box. And now NVIDIA Shield is using it, and that's public knowledge. For if you have an HDHomerun and NVIDIA Shield, you can have live TV there.
Yeah.
The Fire TV boxes, you can do the same thing. It's all Android based. And what we like about it is you've got, on so many platforms that we're working on or plan to work on, you've got a great software solution with so many people on it, like Kodi. And I'm not just saying that because of this clip, is that we're Kodi users here, all of us. We have been we've been XBMC users for a long time. And we've got people here who are all Linux based and they're all open source, so they love that kind of concept, and that's what we've been using. And this is a great relationship to be able to get the live TV piece. There's so many things out there that let you watch recorded stuff or over-the-top stuff. This is what we've been trying to do, is get live TV on all these platforms to keep you with that option.
Yeah, it's an awesome option. And by the way, it's possible you guys were talking with NVIDIA about making that whole thing possible, but I feel like we were also talking with NVIDIA about how important MPEG-2 was, so you're welcome for our help there.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's cool. So I guess beforehand we said we don't want to, or you don't want to spend too much time showing off the UI of the DVR component at the moment, because it's still pretty in development. So showing it off is probably won't be a very good indicator of where it's eventually going to go. So I guess that brings up the next question, which is what sort of features, what are your goals sort of for V1, whatever your final version of the DVR is? What kind of main goals do you guys have for that version?
Certainly, and we also want to start out by saying thank you to some of the Kodi developers that have helped out to be able to, because what we're doing is this first beta, we actually are doing the beta in a Kodi UI right now to test out the engine for the record engine, the playback engine.
Oh, that's cool.
So while we continue to develop the UI for the actual HDHomerun branded DVR, all beta users right now, I think well over 2,000 of them, are all testing it in Kodi right now. So it's been a great experience. So thank you to the appropriate developers who have helped out in creating that within the Kodi sphere. So it's been great. The goal of getting the HDHomerun DVR, it started out again like we talked about as a solution for in the home for users who have moved away from the PC or now just using and viewing TV in the home on multi-platforms. But we want to be able to have that full experience where they can go from any client, any device, and be able to control and watch their content how they want to, their way. People have said, why don't you put over the top and all Hulu and Netflix and all these other things on there? Everything you turn on today has that icon somewhere on there, and you probably already have a subscription.
Yep, that's true.
We've always been live TV. We're always going to be live TV based. That's what we do. We want to give you back or keep you in that live TV piece. So to be able to do that and let you do your Now TV, let you do your binge watching on your terms, not 6 months from now when somebody else tells you. We want to give you all that access, but we want to do it in a simple way. So we call it the DVR reimagined. You open up a DVR, you've got these grids, all these old-fashioned style, There's Rovies fighting right now whether they did or didn't lose their patent rights to that, or if it's expired, or what it might be. But either way, grid has been kind of the old way of doing things. We want to show you what's available to you. We want to give you search capability, but most important, we want you to load up NAS boxes and load up hard drives with all you can, as much as you want to, and then start controlling your content from there. So we have guide data from FYI. They're a great company. We didn't use Rovi or TMS. We decided to go with FYI. That's public knowledge. And they give us great metadata, great coverage in the US, UK, Australia, and Canada. Those are the 4 regions right now that we've launched this DVR that's in beta now. And those areas will be, the first to have it when it comes out in the public release in the early fall. So the release candidate will come out in September as scheduled, via what we told everybody in Kickstarter. So,
by the way, it's interesting that you guys have a release date. Because we're open source and nonprofit, and we don't have to worry about buyers being angry.
Yeah.
Our release dates are always whenever we feel like it.
Yes.
so it's always funny talking to people who can't work on those release terms.
We kind of live upon the same concept. We are a private company, so we can still basically do that, but we want to give realistic goals.
Yeah.
Too many times unrealistic goals are given, or they kind of get, early on in our days, we fell into those traps on different interviews and things like that, and those don't leave the internet. So when you give actual dates, and those kind of linger, but we definitely want to be able to, we know what we can accomplish between now and then for a release candidate, and when we say an official public release, whatever we offer up will be available, and it's going to continue to grow and evolve. We're always going to try to make it better and more user-friendly. That's the goal. So the number one thing is, you asked, what's our, where do we want to be with this, is we want a user-friendly, easy-to-use DVR that doesn't have a bunch of things that you have to do to get to live TV or watch your recorded TV.
Okay, that makes sense. So you're kind of moving away from the grid view. Is there, what does that sort of leave? Does it look sort of more like, I don't know, maybe like some kind of Kodi view that we have now, or is it sort of just, I don't know if I can picture really what it would look like without a grid view.
So what you've got is, today, and it's being evolved through the beta program and suggestions. What we get from our data provider, our EPG provider, is the popular shows that are on. So it actually populates the UI with all the popular shows, all the wide-viewed shows right now they're on now or in the future, in that day or coming up. We're actually editing that to try to get it more in a time slot so you can kind of guide through it. We also have a search engine, a search button on there, so you're able to type in, parts or bits or numbers or actual names of what you want to look up. And it's very easy, one-click record. And then you can play with the recording rules once you set the recording for the shows or show you want to watch. So you can set it up to where it's, your always or your recents or all these different things. Or you can just completely kill the recommend. It's not really a recommendation, it's a populars list.
Yeah.
You can, if you don't like any of those populars, once you kill it and say goodbye, then you're not going to get those populars anymore that you aren't interested in.
Oh, that's really interesting. So to some extent, it sounds like the way you're setting up this list, it's like you're separating the shows from the channels basically altogether. Like the shows are being listed based on whether the show's popular, not necessarily whether the channel itself is popular.
Exactly. We'll actually record it on every opportunity channel that's out there, and then you can cull that down in your recording rules later on. So if there's something that you don't want to miss, or maybe you found a show that's third episode in the season, you tell it all recents, and it'll go out and actually find on repeat channels or repeat time schedules that same show, and you can still grab episode 1 and 2 somewhere out there.
Oh, that's really cool. So I guess that was going to be one of my requests if you guys hadn't already implemented it. But I guess I don't need to worry about that now. One of the things that I think a lot of Kodi users like to do is they're very weirdly anal about collecting. I know I am, and I'm sure lots of other people are. And so, if you have like episode 1 through 7 of a season, and then episode 9 through 23, but you're missing episode 8, it like gnaws at you for the rest of your life until you get that episode. So it sounds like the concept behind this DVR is being able to fill in those missing episodes. It
does, and that came right out of our engineering team. They kind of have the same problem with that, where they are missing something in that they may have a hole there and they need to fill it. So, and it's usually for those who either found a new show or found an old show and they can't seem to get the entire collection out there. It's kind of like when you're a coin collector and you missed that one coin.
Yep. Or the first 5 of those coins,
exactly.
As the case may be. Well, that's really cool. So that would be, especially for shows that have kind of out for a while, that are repeat shows, it kind of makes. And I don't want to say this because it might make content providers angry, but it might make the need for buying Blu-rays sort of less important. Like shows like Friends, for example, that's on repeat every single day forever for the rest of time. You would be able to fill in your library without needing to, go out and rip DVDs and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really cool. All right, neat. Okay, so I guess we could follow that up. So that sort of definitely all, I'm assuming, works for over the air. How does that all work for cable stuff these days? Or are you guys able to talk about that very much?
So right now today it works with both of our over the air devices, the Connect and Extend. And just real quick, the Connect is a MPEG-2 native, so it's the high bandwidth, best for wired Ethernet for HD, and SD over Wi-Fi for mobile devices, basically. Extend being the one we talked about that you have, where it gives you the transcoding capability, the compression of high definition to H.264 AVC, so that much better high definition over Wi-Fi. So, but also the HDHomerun Prime, which is also a native MPEG-2 device, and it's the U.S. cable, so U.S. only, where the over-the-airs are both U.S. and Canada. But the U.S. only device that has a cable card, so it gives you access control. Now, there's copy protection and copy flags on there. So, unfortunately, Kodi users, because it is an open source, Hollywood and the powers that be don't take kindly to us, allowing encrypted content over open source. But if you're in a cable provider region such as Comcast or Verizon or others like that have a majority are copy freely or copy or unencrypted or copy freely still, then you can get most of your channels. Where you get into copy once and copy never is when you have your premium content channels or your like HBO, Showtime, and all of that. But that's to be expected. Yeah. But the majority of your cable channels come over as copy freely, but they're still access controlled. So you still need a cable card, but you can still stream. There's a three-tuner device that now allows 3 Kodi clients to be able to play or record that content onto their storage devices.
Works very well too. That's what I have going in my house.
Perfect.
Three tuners.
Yep, going to 3 Kodi clients running the add-on.
Excellent.
We no longer have we have 2 less Comcast box rentals because of that, and they were charging us rentals for SD boxes. Now they're in HD, so it's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, you can get rid of up to 3 boxes, where saving anywhere from $10 to $25 a box, especially if you've got a full HD DVR from some of the providers.
Mm-hmm.
So which ones did you say were either copy freely or basically unencrypted altogether? Verizon's one of them?
So Verizon, the majority, I know they just recently in some markets just copy flagged as copy once their Fox affiliates, but the majority of everything is from all of your popular cable shows like your HGTV, your Travel Channel, your History Channel, things like that, those are still usually copied freely but access controlled. So those are still viewable. So but all of your broadcast channels, your ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, PBS, all of that, all the way up to your expanded basic, I guess, as a lot of the terms are used, or most of those are all accessible to you with the cable box.
Huh. Well, that's cool. So that means that
I'm
going
to be a cord cutter. I guess the term that a lot of people are using is cord shaver. So if you want to save money and you're ticked off about the rental fees, but you don't want to miss your cable sports, your sports channels, or your all your cable home shows and those type of things, then the HDHomerun Prime is the excellent product for that.
Yeah. Huh. So now I know that I have to move to certain geographic locations if I need to do all that. But that's that's all assuming you want to use it with Kodi. I'm assuming when you're using with an actual HDHomerun app, or I guess how does that work? If you're recording with the DVR, if you use it with the app, you don't have to worry about the copy protection issues.
So our actual Android application, HDHomerun View, right now today does render copy protected. So the copy once content will be able to be played. So you can watch HBO on an Android phone, Android tablet, Fire TV, the Android TV box, and the NVIDIA box. Also a PS3. So those you can play the copy protected because they have protected content key exchange, basically.
Right.
Other devices that don't have that, and of course Windows Media Center still today. Other devices that don't have that copy protection, then you can still do the copy freely content or the unencrypted content.
Huh. Cool.
That works pretty well with Kodi because you can have Kodi on Android and then flip out to the HDHomerun viewer. That would work.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean that's the perfect thing. You can actually record all your copy freely content and watch those, and later. And then if you have something that's coming on as a full copy protected one, then you can put that into a live mode on an Android device that has Kodi and be able to use Kodi as your viewer, your live viewer.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that works. That seems to work for me. I'm very slowly shifting over pretty strongly to the Android camp at this point, just because there's so much cool stuff going on there. I wish there was some way we could do something similar for like the Raspberry Pi, but I don't know. We'll see how these things go over time.
Raspberry Pi is a great little media device, and we actually work with the Raspberry Pi as well, of course. So you can actually use it as a home theater PC and just basically run it through there.
Yeah, absolutely. And it also does MPEG-2. Super handy.
Yep.
So speaking of Windows Media Center, you guys, correct me if I've got the timing on this wrong. Oh, I just dropped my headphone here. Correct me if I got the timing on this wrong, but you guys announced your Kickstarter, and then I think it was like exactly a week later, Windows said there won't be a Media Center in Windows 10. Is that right? When that happened, were you guys like, somebody get the champagne?
Yeah, we sent out a couple thank you tweets, to them, and made sure we tagged them. But no, it actually worked out good because we definitely that day and a couple days later we saw a nice little uptick in pledges to the Kickstarter campaign. So that worked out well, and the media has been. There's a recent article in EDN that talks about us being the Windows Media Center replacement. So it really. We'll take it. I mean, we love it. I mean, we started out where Microsoft developers, they came to us before Vista because they found us in XP and they loved what we did, but they're the ones abandoning what they're doing. They have a great opportunity to keep a ton of customers and they're letting it go away. And if we're coined as a replacement, we'll take that with pride and say, thank you and do the best we can and make it happen.
Yep. And that's, so sorry, I'm going to jump all around what you were saying earlier because that's just how I think. When you're talking about the keep it simple, stupid, like that's sort of your goal for this software. That is, without a doubt, one of the most frustrating things about setting up DVR on Kodi is that setting up that server in the first place is kind of, to some degree, quite a huge hassle, depending on where you are and all kinds of different things. Especially in the U.S. where ATSC isn't super well supported.
Yeah.
You have to go through like a number of different services to get everything together, and even then, it doesn't always work very well. In particular, and I don't have a subscription to the DVR service, the info service, metadata service. Maybe you do, Ned. But I don't think that most of those metadata services out there include what episode you're looking at. Like, it only shows, like, you're watching Friends, not you're watching Friends Season 2, Episode 3. So it sounds like you guys kind of have a one-up on just about everybody.
You know, the metadata, the program images, and the program information that we've been able to do with FYI has been great. You know, the nice thing is, talking about that simple setup of the server, if you have your HDHomerun set up on the network, you open up Kodi, you go into videos, you go into add-ons, you find HDHomerun, and I think we logged it at less than 60 seconds for it to set up and be running. I mean, it took that little amount of time. Channels were all populated. They're all there. There was nothing else you had to do within Kodi because it all existed. It grabbed all the existing data. And so you're already watching and seeing all the program images on the right-hand side. You're seeing the episodic information, and you're seeing the what's on now and what's on next. What's on next currently. And this is the live add-on, of course. So what's on now, you've got the program, and it tells you what the episode is, and then you had a text information about what's coming on next and a bit of a status bar. That will continue on with the HDHomerun DVR, and of course there'll be even more detailed information. When you click on that program, you can actually go into a deeper information about the program and get the full description and the characters and all that kind of good stuff. So you're understanding what you have there. And then when you're going into the controls in the DVR, you'll be able to see all of your recordings, everything you set up by one, say, like you said, Friends. It'll show you a list of all the different episodes and when it aired originally and all these different pieces of information. So it really helps you with your categorization or what you want to keep or delete and or store. So.
Well, that sounds pretty good. I'm excited to eventually check it out at some point or another. Preferably once we're closer to RC, because I do enough beta testing everywhere else, I feel like.
I'm sure.
And I think we're about 45 minutes now, so I think we might be running out of time. Ned, do you have any other follow-up questions you'd like to give?
No, I think my curiosity has been satisfied for now. Yeah. I'm a backer too, so I got to download the latest preview and play around with it now.
Yeah, you haven't done that yet. Definitely, be the advocate in your team there for playing with it, and you can kind of share internally the different usabilities and screenshots, and give us the feedback, because that's why we have the beta program. We want to know how everyone likes it and what they're doing. And again, Ned, I don't know if you joined when I said the beta is in a Kodi UI right now, so we're doing that. We're using the Kodi UI as the beta for the DVR, and we will be launching our own HDHomerun branded DVR. But working with this partnership that we have here and using the Kodi UI has been excellent. So we appreciate the support and help.
All right, cool. I'm looking in comments to see if there are any questions from the people watching. The only one I'm seeing, a lot of times I always forget to tell people to put the comments and questions at the beginning, so apologies for that. But we do have one person who says that he wishes the HDHomerun worked in Canada. I thought you said it did a little bit.
So the HDHomerun Connect and Extend are both sold in Canada, and they do work in Canada. They're an ATSC device, so they do work as over-the-air. the HDHomerun Prime, the cable device, does not, because the likes of Rogers, Shaw, and Bell and others are all their own system, their own proprietary and locked down. Where the U.S. we have one system that's approved through Cable Labs, whether it's a Motorola or a Cisco system, it's all through one entity.
Yeah, I've every once in a while I get into conversations about net neutrality and everything, and then my understanding is Canada is their cable companies are real joys to work with, evidently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know for sure you can find it on Amazon Canada and also Newegg Canada. We're working on getting in a couple of the brick and mortar locations right now as we speak. So, but it's certainly available now on those two sites. So you can check that out.
Okay. So there you go, Canadians, over-the-air TV. I recommend checking it out. It's what I use. It's nice. So I think what I'm gonna say, from this conversation, I think it's pretty easy to say that it sounds like this DVR might be the first really major step to being, man, I'm gonna oversell this. And sorry, all you viewers who are going to hear me oversell this, but it's what it's sounding like to me. It sounds a little bit like this is sort of the first step to kind of killing piracy in the video world. Just because, I don't know, it sounds like you're making it easy to get all this content for people who their old way of getting the content was via pirating channels. And now they kind of, if they use this DVR, they kind of don't need to. They have that ability to save and to cover all their bases, all locked up, all in one DVR at this point.
And the nice thing is, if you're, like you said, if you're one of those that likes to grab everything you possibly can, the nice thing about an HDHomerun, if you have the capability or you're in the area where an indoor or outdoor antenna works, you have all the channels that you can get from that device. Well, they're network devices. Number one, you can add another over-the-air device and have more tuners available to you. But also, if you also have cable, you now can mix and match. So if you have a 3-tuner cable and a 2-tuner over-the-air, now you've got 5 tuners grabbing the full complement of channels that are available to you where you live. So that's another great opportunity that you can't do with most other devices out there.
That's cool. That's cool. So there you go. Valve, the gauntlet has been thrown. You're no longer the only platform out there that is eliminating piracy. Good job. All right. I think we're at 45, 46 minutes now. I guess that's all I've got. Sounds like that's all you've got, Ned. Any last comments before we head out of here, Ted?
No. It's I just encourage everyone that's watching and or knows somebody who is a Kodi user. Download the live TV add-on. Start getting used to how it looks and what you can do with it and what you see. You'll enjoy it. I mean, adding live TV to your Kodi experience is great. I mean, it goes on multiple clients in my house and throughout the offices here with everybody. So we do enjoy it a lot. And then you'll have access to the DVR as well. And just to be clear, the DVR is not a new piece of hardware. The DVR is a software solution, so it will work with the existing Connect, Extend, and Prime in the U.S. and the HDHomerun Connect specifically in the UK, Australia. It'll be coming to Taiwan in the future. It sells right now in Western Europe. The EPG and the DVR will be a later rollout because it's such a segmented region. But on release candidate and public release, Canada, US, UK, and Australia all will have it.
Cool. All right. Well, sounds good. Thanks, Ted. Thanks, Ned. Darn, we need another ad in here. And thanks, viewers. For those of you who have been watching live, thanks for your one comment. Next week, I need to remember to say this, but feel free to make more comments and questions, and we'll try to answer them. Also, next week, we'll be talking about Isengard and the great walk that it took to get there. I I think that does it. So thanks, Ted, and I guess maybe we'll see you in January in Las Vegas.
We'll be there. We'll be at the Westgate Hotel having a suite there again, so you guys come on up.
Sounds good. Maybe more cool things can happen.
Awesome. Thanks, Nate. Appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.